World War II, one of the darkest times in human history, punctuated by tyrannical government, heavy loss of life, not-so-friendly day camps, nuclear fallout, and global instability, it had something for the whole family to enjoy. Following the fall of the Third Reich, the world entered a relative peace, and everyone was starting to improve after the war. Thanks to the Yalta Conference in February of 1945, Germany was nicely split down the middle, and then into smaller portions, allowing each ally to occupy a portion of it as it demilitarized, and Russia even played nice for once. A bit too nice. Winston Churchill predicted that Russia's promise of allowing the Eastern nations to hold their own elections would not be as clear-cut as Stalin made it out to be. The first United Nations was also founded later that year in June, made to help protect the members against aggression and to settle global disputes. Things were looking up for the world until communism, as it always does, messed everything up. The US and the Soviet Union's alliance started to unravel when the US discovered that the Soviets signed a non-aggression pact with the Nazis in order to stay out of the war. In the argument that followed, the Soviets retorted the fact that the US took far too long to respond to the war for the same reason as them, to avoid another pointless war. This bickering went on back and forth like children until both sides eventually decided they had the bigger ego and started to pursue separate ideas of post-war Europe. And their ideas couldn't be more separate. The US's goal was to rebuild Europe's economy in order to secure raw materials for trade and manufacturing, while simultaneously playing whack-a-mole with communism through the encouragement of capitalism. The Soviets, however, wanted to use Europe's resources to rebuild its economy and protect itself from outside invasion. These differing ideas led to conflict and, as with all conflict, politics. The Soviets made the first move where they secured and occupied many of the countries of Eastern Europe using forces stationed there post-World War II. These countries included Eastern Germany, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Romania, Albania, Bulgaria, and Yugoslavia. The Soviets then brought down the red hammer onto these new states, forcing communism on them without regard to their people. This idea would not go over well with the rest of the world due to them going against their word at the Yalta Conference and forcing communist government onto these occupied countries. Winston Churchill used the phrase Iron Curtain to describe the split of communist Eastern Europe and democratic Western Europe. Many of these states were suffering under the communist government forced upon them by the Soviets, forcing the West to take action. This was the beginning of the Berlin air raids and eventually the Cold War.